Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajmain, amma ba'd. Grade 10 students, in today's session we are going to start the volume part of the solids we studied earlier about area, volume of cylinder and volume of prism. Okay, before go to this lesson, we need to recall what we studied, what are the solid shapes we studied about volume in grade 9. We studied cuboid and cube. So the basic equation of any solid shape, remember that this thing, the basic equation to find the volume of a solid shape is basically volume equal cross-sectional area of cross-sectional area into length or height. Maybe it's length of that solid or the height of that solid. Okay, we discussed this equation at grade 9 while we do volume lessons. So recall this equation. This equation is universal for each and every solids with a uniform cross section. So underline that word. This equation can only applicable for a solid with uniform cross section. In the area we studied about what is uniform cross section. Start to end the cross section is same. If you consider a cylinder with same radius at base and the top, so one of the side radius is R, the other end is also R. So both cross sections are equal, the area is equal, so the cross sections are uniform. What about the prism? Those cross-sectional face, triangular faces are equal what we studied. For uniform cross-sectional solid figures, we can use this equation. In grade 10, we have two solid figures, prism and cylinder. In previous years, we studied about cuboid and cube. So, in grade 11, we are going to use another term because in grade 11 we have, what is the shape we call? That is a cone. So if you look at the cross section, the base of the cone, you can imagine ice cream cone. Yes, base of the cone with a different radius. If you look at the cross section, the radius of the circle is reducing. Okay, so here for a cone, we can't use this equation for finding volume because the cross section is not uniform. So we are going to deal with not uniform cross sectional solids. In grade 11, inshallah we will discuss about in grade 11. Okay, so now we have two figures. We all know cylinder with radius R and the height is h. You can name it, height is h. So if we are going to do working of what will be the equation of volume of this cylinder, so we can use the basic equation. From this basic equation we can derive an equation or an idea for the volume of this cylinder. So volume equal cross-sectional area into, here we considering height, length or height. So we are considering height here. So what is the cross-section? So the shape of the cross-section we all know, circle. So area of the cross-section is pi r square. So cross-sectional area is pi r square. The radius is r. The height is same h. So we can have an equation pi r squared h. Volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. Okay, like the surface area pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Volume of a cylinder, we can find the volume of cylinder by using this equation. If you want to use this equation, you have two data. You need to know two data: radius of the base or radius of the circular faces and height of the cylinder. Okay, using the radius and height, you can find the volume of the cylinder. Okay, remember one thing. So the volume is the last part of your question. So the starting is perimeter, then area, then volume. So those three lessons are joined together in the question paper. Okay, the separate question is on part 1A part, area and perimeter. Another part, area and volume, is on part 2, B part. Part 2B part, we have a volume question. So all the knowledge you gain from the surface area and perimeter, you need to use it in the volume. Okay, so we discussed about this equation. We need radius and height. Okay, directly they didn't give the height of the cylinder. So why instead of directly not given the area of cylinder, what is the data they give? So we studied, if you need to create a cylinder, you can have a rectangular sheet. By folding the rectangular sheet, you can create a cylinder. Oh, directly they can't give the height, but they can give what the sheet or what is the net frame is created the cylinder. So breadth of this rectangular sheet will be the height of the cylinder. Okay, instead of giving radius of the base of the cylinder, what is the data they can give? The length of the rectangular sheet. How did the rectangular sheet's length and the radius of the cylinder connected? If you fold the நாங்கள் அந்த ரெக்டாங்குலர் ஷீட்டை மடித்து நாங்கள் ஒரு சின்ன வேலை செஞ்சோம். ஸோ இது நினைவிருக்கணுன்னால தான் நாங்கள் அப்படி ஒரு வேலை எங்களோட கையால் செஞ்சோம். ரைட், இந்த ஐடியா, இந்த பேசிக் ஐடியா நினைவிருந்தால் தான் எங்களுக்கு கேள்விக்கு போகணும். ஒன்று நல்லா நினைவு வச்சுக்கோங்க, ஏரியா வால்யூம் எந்த சாப்டராக இருந்தாலும் சரி, பேசிக் நாலேஜ் ஐடியா இருக்கிற ஒரு பிள்ளைக்கு கேள்வியை ஈஸியாக ரியலைஸ் பண்ணிடணும். பேசிக் நாலேஜ் ஒன்று இல்லைண்டா உலகில் வரப்போகிற கேள்வியை அவங்களுக்கு ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணல. ஏன்னா அவங்க கேள்வி எப்போவுமே கேள்வியோட கோர் எங்கே இருக்கும்டா, கேள்வியோட மெயின் பாயிண்ட் எங்கே இருக்கும்டா, பேசிக் நாலேஜில் இருக்கும். இப்போ இதெல்லாம் பேசிக் நாலேஜ். ஓகே, எப்படி ரிலேட்டட் ஆகுதுன்னு சொல்ல போகிறோம். ரேடியஸும் ஹைட்டும் தெரிந்தால் we can find the volume of the cylinder. So that is not our question. So the question is, if they want to make the question hard, instead of radius and height, they want to give the basic idea. So length of the rectangular sheet, நீங்க அதை fold பண்ணினா you have a circular face. So the length of the rectangular sheet is circumference of rectangular sheet is circumference of the circle. So from that circumference you can have the radius. So question கொஞ்சம் elaborate பண்ணுவோம். So equation simple. So அந்த basic theories இருந்து நாங்கள் வரப்போம். ஸோ ஃபிகரை போடுங்க, ஈக்குவேஷனை மார்க் பண்ணுங்க, இந்த ஐடியாஸ் ரெண்டையும் நல்லா நினைவு வச்சுக்கோ. ஓகே, we will go for the equation of prism now. Okay, we have a triangular cross-sectional prism here. We can use the same equation, basic equation, for finding the volume of this prism. The length of the prism is L, base of the prism you can take it as B, perpendicular height of the face of the triangle, we can make it as h. Okay. So the basic equation, V equal cross-sectional area into length. For cylinder, we can have the height. For prism, we'll use the length. Okay, what is the cross-section? It's a triangular face. So half into base into altitude. And then the length. So using this equation, we can find it. So if you observe the terms, what we substitute, it's not in some order, like the volume of cylinder, pi r squared h. We can remember this term, but these terms are odd. So we don't have an equation to find the volume of prism like the cylinder. Likewise, the area of the prism, we don't have any particular equation. We separately do the find the areas of the faces, then we'll add together. So likewise, the prism's volume equation is the basic equation. Cross-sectional area into length. What is the cross-section? It is triangular face. Like the cylinder, we discussed the basic things of the cylinder. Instead of directly giving the base, so they can give another data. Directly, they don't give the height of the face, so they can give the another data. So in the surface area, finding surface area of prism, always we use Pythagoras theorem there. So using the Pythagoras theorem, they can give another data for base, length and height, whatever it is. So remember the things what we studied about perimeter and area of these solids. Those all the data, all the theories is going to be used on finding the volume. So the volume of prism is cross-sectional area into length. Okay, we can discuss some example question and we can familiar with this equation. I send the question there, so you can copy the question and continue this video.